So being that I talk about marriage a lot, as well as talking about like salvation and Christianity a lot, I've noticed something, which is that you show me someone who thinks that cheating is grounds for divorce, and I'll show you someone who thinks that you can lose your salvation. And it makes sense that these two would go hand in hand because marriage is a picture of salvation. And so the kind of mindset that you have to think that cheating on your spouse is grounds to null your marriage, you're probably the same kind of person who thinks that you could do something bad enough to where God would no longer have you as his child. But that's really the entire point of marriage, is that there's nothing that you can do to get out of it once you've committed to being in it, because it's a death do you part. Just like he who began a good work in you will continue it until, the last day. Why is it always so hard for me to finish a verse? And so if you have the kind of mindset that says, yeah, I know that I said that I would be with someone for better or for worse, and I know that I said that I would be with this person until death do us part, but they did something that I feel is extremely egregious, so therefore I am free to exit. You'll probably think the same as like, yeah, I know that I confessed with my mouth and believed in my heart, and I know that I believed and confessed and that I trusted and that, I put all my faith on, but I've done something especially egregious, and now God is going to go back on his word, just like I would go back on my word. But we are faulty. We are human. We don't even understand half of God's mind. And so that's why God is always reassuring us in the Bible that we know that we're saved, and the fact that we are never going to be plucked out of his hand, and that, we will never thirst and we'll never hunger. It's talking about eternal security in God's hand. And if you are a person who believes in eternal security, then you should believe that cheating is not grounds for divorce, just like nothing is grounds for divorce. If your spouse does something that puts your life in danger, then they should be killed, and therefore that would not be divorce, but we live in a crazy government and they're not going to do that. But that's what it should happen. But anything that, is just sin, anything that is just, upsetting, those are not grounds for divorce. You need to figure it out and stand by your spouse the way that Christ stands by us. Even though we are a bad bride and that we are embarrassing him, he does not desert us, and we should not desert our spouse under any circumstances.